What's up, badass Black Desert Mobile fans? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Fletcher and Archer. I'm going to be showcasing all of their skills. I'm going to also give you pros for each of the classes, as well as a little bit of a full kit for them, so that way you can see what they look like. This might help you in deciding which class that you want to roll with when they release in a few days. If this is your first time here, I appreciate you stopping by. Check out the link in the descriptions down below if you want some additional badass Black Desert Mobile content. You won't be disappointed. And with that being said, let's dive right in. Up first, we're going to take a look at the pros for each of these classes. For the Fletcher, he is a high mobility class. He's great for Guild vs. Guild and Node Wars. He's great because he has 2 iframes. He's a high tier PvE farmer, so great at farming content. And he's great for boss rush content. He does come equipped with 4 total immunities for arenas as well, which is very nice. 2 iframes, 2 super armors. The Archer's fastest PvE farmer in the game when he comes out. He's got about 40 KPM over the Fletcher and even the Archmage. He has 1 invincibility frame. He is also great for boss rush content as he is a ranged class. He comes with 3 super armors in the arenas, and he also has 4 total immunities for the arenas. Alright, so we're going to check out their skills side by side, and we're going to break them down so that way you can see how they each look. Up first for the Archer, Archer's first skill in the bottom right down there does come with 4 initial charges, so that is very nice. You have a lot of charges on this skill. It's great for PvE farming. It does have a shorter cooldown time. It's not the heaviest hitting skill. It doesn't give you super armor in the arenas. It does apply a stun though, and it does reduce the target's DP and increase your DP, both of those for 10 seconds. As far as the Fletcher's first skill, 2 charges, so not quite as many. A longer cooldown time. It does do more damage though, and it does have 2 attacks. It also reduces the target's movement speed by 5% for 10 seconds. And once leveled up, you can reduce the cooldown time on this skill by 2 seconds, taking it from an 8 to a 6 second cooldown time, so you can get more use out of it. The second skill for the Archer, 1 charge on a 7-second cooldown time. This is a heavy hitting skill for PvE, 1460 for PvP, 1212. 1200%. It also gives you a knockdown. It applies a bleed on its sub skill, reduces the target's AP, and you get 2-second cooldown time reduction, taking it to a 5-second cooldown time reduction on that, or cooldown on that skill overall. So that's pretty nice. The Fletcher's second skill has 3 initial charges on a short 5-second cooldown time. Very nice. 780% damage. You do get super armor, but not in the arenas. You do get a stun on successful hit, and it reduces the target's DP and increases your DP by 20 for 10 seconds each. Up next for the Archer is their third skill. That skill is coming with 2 initial charges on a 6-second cooldown time. Not very much damage, but it does do up to 6 hits. It does apply a knockback on successful hit, reduces the target's AP by 20. You get 1 more hittable target when it's leveled up, so that'll take it to 7 hittable targets. And it increases your crit hit damage by 5% for 10 seconds. The Fletcher's third skill comes with a 1 charge on a 10-second cooldown time. It is a badass skill. He does jump up and do a decent amount of damage. He does have 3 attacks. It does apply a stun on first hit, a knockdown on last hit. It does give you super armor, which works in the arenas, an iframe, and you cannot be grabbed while in the air with this skill. So it is a very nice skill overall. The fourth skill for the Archer, 1 charge, 4-second cooldown time, so short cooldown time, does a decent amount of damage. Sub-skills, it increases AP by 20 for 10 seconds on you, and you get 1 initial charge, taking it from 1 to 2 initial charges on that skill overall. As far as the Fletcher's fourth skill, that's going to be coming with 1 charge on a 7-second cooldown time. Does 375% PvE damage, 300% PvP damage. You do get 4 hits, or 4 attacks, knockback on that last hit. It does apply a bleed, and once leveled up, 2-second cooldown time reduction, taken to a 7, from a 7 to a 5-second cooldown time. So this skill does offer a decent amount of damage with those 4 attacks, so as long as you hold the skill button in, you do get those 4 attacks. The Archer's fifth skill, 1 charge on a 6-second cooldown time. It does do a maximum of 12 attacks, which is 2,760% PvE damage and 1,900% PvP damage. You get super armor while using the skill, works in the arenas. A knockdown every 4 hits. Sub-skills applies a bleed. It gives you a combo effect. If you hold the skill button in, it does the same damage as the original skill. And you gain super armor when you hold the skill button in. but not in the arena. So overall, that is a very, very nice skill. Definitely viable for most situations, especially with the total damage output that it's offering. The Fletcher's 5th skill is coming with 2 charges on an 8-second cooldown time. It does do a decent amount of damage at 1560 PvE and 1100 for PvP. You do get super armor with a skill, and it works in the arenas. A knockdown and successful hit, increases your AP, applies a bleed, reduces the cooldown time by 2 seconds once leveled up from 8 to a 6-second cooldown time. With those 2 initial charges, that is very viable once it's leveled up. So both those skills are very nice for the Archer and Fletcher, their 5th skills. As far as the 6th skill for the Archer, it's an MP skill, so it's 1 charge, 20 MP per use, 6-second cooldown time, medium damage, does give max 2 attacks. It does apply a bound on first hit, increases your DP by plus 20 for 10 seconds, and once leveled up, adds 1 more hittable target. The Fletcher's 6th skill is 2 charges on a 5-second cooldown time, does do 4 attacks, gives you a super armor but not in the arenas, a knockdown and successful hit, cannot attack left and right movement, so when you're moving left and right, you cannot attack. For sub-skills, it is your passive heal of 90 HP healed, times 4, that's 360 HP healed. The Archer's 7th skill is 2 charges, 6-second cooldown time, 1400% PvE damage, 950% PvP damage, up to 2 attacks, super armor but not in the arenas, knockdown and successful hit. Sub-skills is negative 20 DP on target for 10 seconds, applies a bleed. A combo effect if you hold the skill button in does the same damage as the original skill. You do get a super armor if you hold the skill button in that works in the arenas. So the super armor, if you don't hold the skill button in, doesn't. But if you hold the skill button in, it does once leveled up. So that combo effect is very nice. For the Fletcher, the 7th skill, 1 charge on a 13-second cooldown time, so a lengthy cooldown time. Medium damage at 850 and 680. This is the 2nd iframe while using the skill. You do get a stun on successful hit. He does jump back really, really far with this skill. Reduces the target's movement speed by 5% for 10 seconds. Their defensive power by 20 for 10 seconds. And once leveled up, reduces the cooldown time by 2 seconds, taking it from a 13 to 11-second cooldown time. The Archer's 8th skill, 1 charge on a 10-second cooldown time, so lengthy. It does have 4 maximum hits. You do get a knockdown on first hit. Sub-skills reduces the target's attack speed by 5% for 10 seconds, and once leveled up, negative 2 seconds on the cooldown time, taking it from a 10 to an 8-second cooldown time. Overall, with the maximum of 4 hits, it can hit multiple targets, so that is very nice. And once leveled up, it does reduce the cooldown time on that skill. The Fletcher's 8th skill gives you 15 MP per use on a 4-second cooldown time. This skill is pretty solid for PvE farming, as long as you can one-hit the targets, as he does do an AoE damage around him. It does apply a bound on successful hit. Once leveled up, you can increase the hittable targets by +1, and it increases your DP by +20 for 10 seconds. Not very viable for PvP, as it only applies a bound, no super armors, and it's just an AoE around him. This is a ranged class, so you are typically going to stay far from the target. The Archer's 9th skill comes with 1 charge on a lengthy 10-second cooldown time, does give you a maximum of 2 attacks, mediocre damage. However, this is the iframe for the Archer class when using the skill, and it does apply a daze on first hit. For the sub-skills, it reduces the cooldown time by 2 seconds, taking it from a 10 to an 8-second cooldown time. He does jump back while using the skill. Reduces the target's DP by +20 and movement speed by 5% for 10 seconds. The Fletcher's 9th skill comes with 1 charge on an 8-second cooldown time, 950% PvE, 760% PvP. Does apply a knockdown on successful hit. Super armor with the skill, but not in the arenas. Sub-skills reduces the target's defensive power by 20 and movement speed by 5% for 10 seconds. And it does give a combo effect. If you hold the skill button in, it applies a penetrate, so it hits targets behind the first character or the first mob as well. The 11th skill for the Archer is 1 charge, 12-second cooldown time, so lengthy. Does do pretty solid damage at 1160 for PvE and 812 for PvP. You do get super armor with this skills, and it does work in the arenas. And you're unable to catch the target while using. You're unable to catch the Archer while they're using the skill. It applies a bound on successful hit. Once leveled up, it does reduce the cooldown time on the skill, taking it from 12 to 10 seconds. Reduces the target's DP by 20 for 10 seconds, and it adds 1 hittable target. So overall, the 11th skill for the Archer is very nice. For the Fletcher, their 11th skill comes with 1 charge on a 7-second cooldown time. Doesn't do quite as much damage at 515 and 412, but it does give up to 3 attacks, and it applies a knock up on successful hit. It does also attract monsters. Once leveled up, you can increase the range on the skill by 10%, reduces the target's AP by 20 for 10 seconds, and you get a combo effect. If you hold the skill button in, you get 15% of the original skill damage times 4. So that is the 11th skill for the Fletcher. Overall, for the both classes, you can see their full skill kit coming up here in a second, so that way you can get an idea of what both of them offer. As far as the Fletcher on the left, you get 2 super armors that work in the arenas, 5 total super armors, 2 invincibilities, 4 knockdowns, 3 stuns, 1 knock up, 1 knockback, and 1 bound. For the Archer, you're getting 3 super armors that work in the arena, 4 total super armors, 1 invincibility, 4 knockdown, 2 bounds, 1 stun, 1 knockback, and 1 daze. That is everything for both the Archer and Fletcher. I myself am going to be going for the Fletcher. I do feel like that's going to be a little bit better of a class for most PvP situations. The Archer, I feel like the only thing the Archer is going to be better at is for PvE farming. I know that Fletcher does also have higher mobility. It does offer those 2 iframes. Both of these classes are giving you 4 immunities for arenas. I just feel like the Fletcher is going to be... The Fletcher is more popular on the Korea servers for sure. The Archer seems to be better at PvE farming, and that's about it. That's everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. That's my 2 cents and my opinion on both classes. You are allowed to have your own. If you feel like, the Archer might be better for some reason, by all means, leave that in the comments down below. And with that being said, I will see you next time.